Former FBI Director James Comey is raising eyebrows with a social media post. It shows the numbers 8647 spelled out in shells, seashells. 86 can be slang for removing something. Donald Trump is the 47th president. Some in the current administration are interpreting the post as a specific threat on the president's life. Well, Comey has since deleted the post, replacing it with this message saying he didn't realize that some people associate those numbers with violence and that he opposes violence of any kind. Joining us now is CBS News Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane. Scott, let's first talk about the seashell controversy making a lot of headlines today. What are you hearing about the reaction and the potential fallout from this?
This is not just a controversy. This is a controversy involving a former FBI director who briefly served, before he was fired, in the first Trump administration. The FBI director, the Homeland Security director have both posted on social media that they have launched reviews of this matter. Comey pulled it down, potentially an acknowledgement that 86ing a president can be misread by some. Whether this is a criminal matter is a whole different story, but a federal investigation is nevertheless underway.
Also dominating the news this week, the possibility of President Donald Trump getting a jet from Qatar. How do you see this ending?
There are controversies and then there are controversies, and this is the latter. This has caught the attention of local Senator Dick Durbin, who's the top Democrat on the Judiciary Committee. He wants an investigation. He wants a review. So do other Democrats who may actually put a hold on Trump nominees, slowing down their confirmation pending a review of whether this is constitutional for a foreign nation to give a very expensive gift directly to the U.S. government, potentially end running it to the president himself upon his leaving the office. This is a multi-$100 million gift, this jet. What's more, there are questions about whether the U.S. can be taking this type of national security sensitive gift from a foreign nation, and that it may actually cost more than it's worth with the reconstituting of the jet that would be necessary to ensure it's not bugged, not booby-trapped, and that it would be safe for the president's use.
A lot of vetting would have to go into that, Scott. Now, two topics this week also affecting everyone's wallet. Let's start with the tariff war and the impact on prices right now.
There was a political earthquake midweek when Walmart announced it may have to raise some of its prices. In fact, it is planning to raise some of its prices just because of the lower level tariffs that are about to be in place, pending the much larger tariffs still being threatened against foreign nations and some U.S. allies. If Walmart raises prices, that resonates politically far and wide.
And there's a lot of talk about Medicaid. Finally, Congress, do you believe it's set to cut Medicaid at this point?
The week in Congress ended on Friday with a deal that appeared to fall apart. This bill that the Republicans are pushing at the president's request to extend tax cuts at the end of this year could lead, critics say, to cutting of Medicaid. Now, there's a vote today where Republican support fell apart for the Republicans' own bill, so its future is unclear. But Democrats are already pressing this issue that Republicans are setting up a bill that could cut Medicaid. That is political nitroglycerin next year during the midterm elections, in which there are competitive races all around the country.
Very touchy timing there. Well, Scott MacFarlane in Washington for us. Thank you. We always appreciate your insight.